will gonna be live in a couple of seconds. After that, I will pin the post. I will let you know we are live.
Okay. Are we, or you're going to let me know?
We are live now.
All right.
I just make the announcement for the community. So your name is Greg Goodman, for real?
Greg Goodman. For real, Greg Goodman.
But you are a good man. This is my feeling, but it's something from God. Yeah, good man.
Yeah, I've very much been appreciative and grateful for this name. It actually influenced my life in so many ways, from just a mantra for my own life, like how can I try to do anything different when literally my name tells me I must be a good man.
So you are a dad, an artist, husband, entrepreneur, photographer, traveler. So it's a pleasure for me to have you on this podcast, Mr. Greg.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. I deeply appreciate the honor.
But please tell us, who are you? Who is Greg?
Who is Greg? I am a man of many hats. As you said, I'm a father. I'm a photographic storyteller. I'm a former world traveler. I'm an entrepreneur. As long as I can remember my whole life, I wanted to be a businessman, and it's looked like so many different things over the years. As a kid, I sold little garbage pail kid trading cards to family on Sunday night dinners. I sold origami to neighbors. I had a comic book auction that I used to run in my schoolyard in 5th grade. I literally had like a ring of kids lined up around me, bidding up the prices on different comic books that I would sell. So it's always been my dream, and what that's looked like has been very different over the years. I went to college, I got a marketing degree, I did the 9-to-5 thing, decided it was not for me. I didn't want to work for somebody else. But then at my first job out of college, I met an amazing woman, and she said, you know what, I quit. I'm joining the Peace Corps. I'm going to Nicaragua. We were sort of dating, and she said, I'll be back in 2 years, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. And I didn't really like that answer, so I bought a ticket to visit her for 2 weeks. I quit my job, sold my stuff, and I wound up staying for 7 months. And that just completely changed my life forever, because for 7 months, I lived a small little village of maybe 500 people in rural northern mountains of Nicaragua, very poor, and I lived a life of less stuff, less responsibilities, less jobs, less money, less everything. And I found more. I found my passion. I found my zest and my love for life. And what I found most of all was that I loved sharing stories, and I loved sharing photos, because we are all in this together in this world, right? We are all human beings just trying to do the best that we can do in our everyday life. And what that looks like is different for everybody. And back home in the States, I'm originally from New York City. I live in California now. I've lived all over. But I think we live this very sheltered existence, whatever our background is here, where we just don't even understand what's out there. And so I kind of made it my mission to show. It started out with friends and family at home, like what this different world looks like, what even the simplest things, like here's what a trash can looks like all around. But like, we're all the same. We all have the same core needs, the same core responsibilities of taking care of ourselves, taking care of our family, and just living our lives to the best of our abilities. So that sort of became my passion. And over the next 10 years, Carrie and I bounced back and forth between jobs in the States, saving money, traveling. I had a travel blog, Adventures of a Goodman. You talk about how my name influences my life. Like it becomes parts of my business names as well, right? So Adventures of a Good Man, but that really only makes sense if you know my last name is Goodman. Otherwise, it's like, who's this person calling himself a good man? What's the deal? But anyway, and then we moved back to the States about 6 years ago and had our first child, and now we have 2. Bodhi is 5, Luna is 2. They are, as I'm sure every parent will say, the lights of my life. And they also inspire me and lead me to everything that I do now, to working on Goodman Creatives, a marketing, web design, branding, coaching agency, and to finding a way to balance this alternative online business lifestyle, for the most important reason I can think of, so I have more time with my family. So when my son pops in at 2 in the afternoon and says, Dad, I need you for something, I can be like, okay, I stop. And I'm not going to lie and tell you that it's so easy, right? Like there's definitely times I'm like, I can't. I'm stressed. I'm overworked. I got blah, 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 right? Like life. And I have a much better chance of being able to do that than I do if I'm, no one's really at an office building right now, but you know what I'm saying, right? So anyway, that's the long answer to your short question. So I'm going to stop that right now.
Thank you very much. But do you, your job is to help others somehow, yeah?
That's always been my passion, is helping others, whatever that looks like, whether it's through photographic storytelling, whether it's through helping people run successful businesses, whatever it is, I love helping people for sure.
So this is a good, let's say, advice for the community. Just by helping others, we can be successful and happy.
I had a policy, a mantra when I was traveling. I said, if you follow your heart and your passions, success will follow you. And nowhere in my life has that been more true than when I traveled. And just doing what I did because I loved it and because it made other people happy. The success stuff that I wasn't even looking for found me.
So do you think anyone could find their passion in this life?
Absolutely. It's just, are people able to gift themselves the time, the space, and the internal journey that's required? Because it's not like flipping on a switch, right? We all have our passions, but how do you gift yourself as a human being permission to focus on yourself and on your passions and let that guide you instead of whatever else guides all of us, myself fully included, right, on a daily basis.
I see. How often do you meditate, Mr. Greg?
Good question. I know that's one of the things that brought us together. I will be honest, I am on a 2-day streak, 2 days in a row of meditating. I try to meditate daily. I'm not going to lie to you and anyone watching and say that I do. I do my best. And I like short meditations. I try to find my self-care practice works best when it actually fits with my schedule, right? And to not beat myself up when I miss a day or a week or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, I try my hardest to meditate every day. My wife is the inspiration. She goes and she does these like 40-day meditation challenges where she just does it. And like for 40 days straight, whatever happened, hell or high water, she's in the room for 30 minutes a day or whatever her program is, doing it. So she's my inspiration in so many ways.
I was so impressed when I made my research to understand who are you, and I watched some videos. Yes. And I realized I'm passionate about how mind work, how psychology, and I realize that you also have a lot of knowledge in this spiritual and how mind work. That you repeat yes. How it was fantastic. That video was fantastic.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
Do
you think that ideas comes when you meditate?
Say I missed the first part of the question. Do I think that what?
Do you think we as human beings, when we meditate, we just need to stop our mind, or we can listen and we can find the brilliant ideas for our life, for our businesses, for...
That's the question, right? I posted the other day, like truly my best ideas come to me when I'm meditating, when I'm sitting there, no thoughts. And that's when all the thoughts come, right? And that's what they say. Like the joke is like, oh, you have a big problem you need to solve. And there's this phrase that I've heard my whole life. It's like, oh, go meditate on it. Like, doesn't that defeat the purpose? Aren't you supposed to not be thinking? But the key of meditation, right, is you're not shutting off your brain so much as you're just not focusing on the thoughts that come. You're letting them pass. Whatever it is, right? We can't stop our brains. We can't stop the thoughts from coming and going, but it's what we do with them, right? So when this brilliant idea for this life-changing whatever comes into my mind, do I then spend the next 10 minutes thinking about how it's going to work? Or do I just say, okay, remember this later, and hope that I actually remember it later? And of course, sometimes I spend the next 10 minutes thinking about it because I'm human and it's really exciting, whatever this thing is. But right? And I do, but I do think that just by focusing your mind and harnessing your mind, however long you do it a day, if it's 2 minutes a day, if it's 5 minutes a day, if it's an hour, whatever, right? Like it's just training our minds, because our minds are the most powerful tool that we have as human beings. And, you know, I hear a phrase a lot in one of the communities I'm involved in, that 80% of business success comes from the internal work that we do. And I really, really believe that, because when my brain is scattered, when I'm not taking care of myself, everything suffers. Relationships, family, business, life, mental health, stress, my hair, right? What's left of it. Like, right? It all goes to the wayside, because if you can't focus on yourself, if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of others? How are you going to help others and provide value to the world?
You can't. You just can't. So
Yeah.
why did you left New York for California?
Good question. Honestly, Mom was a big part of it. She's from the California area, and I was intrigued with it. But I've had a love affair with California since we visited here when I was 7 on the family trip. And just the redwoods and the nature and the like different pace of life. Like New York, I love New York. I'm always a New Yorker. I can talk really fast. You want me to talk really fast? I'm still a New Yorker at heart. But I've also had the slower part of me, right? The part that just wants to be a more relaxed, a more shanti life, and not always be in fight or flight mode, not always be rushing, not always be pissed off at people, right? Like New Yorkers are amazing. It's an amazing place. And I in no way am trying to badmouth my home city, where I love more than anything. And I say this, I consciously choose to be a Californian, to live in Santa Cruz, right? Like, because it's more my style, because it allows me to live surrounded by majestic nature, to live by the beach, to live by the mountains, and to live in an environment where I don't have to be around those stressors if I choose not to.
If you try to meditate in New York, it's weird, right? How to meditate in
different background noise, cars honking, and you know, things like that, for sure. But you know, I mean, so much of who I, at the same time, so much of who I am comes because I am a New Yorker. I'm still a New Yorker at heart, right? Like I still have that edge in many ways. It's like the things that made me who I am came from growing up in New York City, and the experiences and all of the messages, all of the things that were taught to me as a New Yorker, street smarts, worldly wise, most importantly, diversity. Right? Like I'm so blessed that and consider myself so grateful that I grew up surrounded by people of every race, every religion, everything, right? And that was normal. That wasn't, you know, something that you had to look for. That was just the way life was. So growing up with this diverse culture, this diverse experience, I think has also influenced me in more ways than I could tell you on an interview and probably even consciously understand.
100%, I'm sure of that. How did you become a National Geographic TV star? Share this with our community, please.
It goes back to following your heart and trusting that success will follow you. I never set out for it. My wife and I were living in Thailand. We were living in Chiang Mai, and I was doing my thing, and I got an email out of the blue from somebody who represented Samsung. And they said, you know, we're having a booth at Photokina, which is the world's largest photography trade fair in Cologne, Germany. We would like you to come present your career as a travel blogger and photographer. And first I'm like, okay, this is clearly a scam. Like, do you want my bank account number, right? Is this how this is going to work? But sure enough, a few months later, there I was in Germany presenting my career, career. It was really just presenting what I did because I loved it. To thousands of people every day. And that's not how I got the job. I got this National Geographic thing because one of the people who was behind the scenes happened to work for National Geographic Korea and said, oh, Greg, by the way, we're filming a TV show about Korea. Would you like to be in it? So I'm like, yes, clearly yes. And that was it. And then, 6 months later or whatever it is, they flew me down and they followed me around, and they teamed me up with this guy, Jesse Day, who's at the time, he's a Canadian who was living in South Korea, who spoke fluent Hangul and rapped in Hangul. And it was like a fish out of water story. So pretended like I came to Korea, and he showed me around, and they put us in these most amazing scenarios that you could only go to if National Geographic is taking you around. Like, I became an octopus fisherman for a day, digging through mud. I caught a live octopus with my bare hands, and then of course for shock value they made me eat it. We went to an exorcism on a boat. I did traditional wrestling. Anyway, I won't go into every scene in the show, but it was just absolutely amazing. And again, I didn't seek these things out, and this is why I'm so firmly believe that when you follow your heart and your passion, success will follow you. Because more so than any time in my life, that's when it happened. When I had no agenda, when I wasn't, stressing about life and bills and all the things that we go through on a daily basis. So that's the answer to that question.
It happens to me too. So I'm very happy that you shared this with our community. Thank you very much. What is a conscious entrepreneur? You have this on your website. You talk about it.
Yeah. It's
but
to me because I lost you for a second there. Say that again. You froze for a second.
Yeah. What is a conscious entrepreneur? You talk about it on your website.
Yeah, I think it's different to everybody, but in the end, it's what you are comfortable with in your own life. You are the only person that you go to bed with and wake up with every single morning of your life. You have to look yourself in the mirror every day and say, do I feel okay with what I'm doing? Am I doing icky things that don't feel right? Or can I proudly look at myself in that mirror and be like, yes, I am doing this for the right reasons. And in today's online global society where everybody's a business owner, everybody's got an online business, everybody's a marketer, and the lines between personal and business on Facebook are so blurred nowadays. As we all know, you go into a group and all of a sudden everybody's pitching you something. And I'm not opposed to that. It's a very, very legitimate, successful marketing technique. And you have to do it the right way. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you what the right way is, because the right way is different for everybody. But my sort of foundations for me, because that's all I can speak to, is what for me a conscious entrepreneur is giving value, and that's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but giving value for the true noble purpose of giving value. That if somebody sees your content, does the thing you want them to do, and never reaches out and never becomes a paying client or customer or sale or whatever your goal is, that their life is made better simply by you being you. And that you're okay with that. And more than okay with that, like that is the goal. And I truly believe that that is how you make the world a better place. That is how you truly help people. And that is how your business succeeds. Because, the law of attraction and all these other like proven energy, like attracts like, and all of that, like it comes when you're doing it from a heart space, not from a fear space, not from, unethical space. Like, right. That's where the magic happens, when you're actually doing it from a code of ethics. And again, it's up to everybody to figure out what their own code is.
Yeah, 100%. How do you convince people to follow their passion and heart?
I don't.
Yeah, but you are also a coach, yeah?
Yes. So it's a very good question. You can't convince anybody to do anything. Right? Like, people have to come from it because that is what they want to do and because they're ready. Right. So what I can do is I can lead by example. I can share my story. I can talk about how success does follow. But, until somebody is ready to do it themselves, it's not going to work. Right. Like, because you have to truly be in that mindset, that mind space, however you get there, that you believe that by following your heart, success will follow. And then, if and when success doesn't follow at the pace or the speed or the whatever you need it to continue trusting, because it's all about trust, right? And there's all sorts of, I don't need to go into the million mindset exercises and things that are out there, but right, it's all about the belief the knowing, like, we can get into a whole conversation about the construct of time, but I firmly believe that past, present, future, they are all the same, right? And they're just, human comprehensions of what it is. So by just visualizing, we can choose to make the reality that we want our reality. And to go back to your actual question, like, how do I convince someone to follow their passions and their dreams? By being on this journey with them, and by showing them what's possible through my own actions, and being there to support people as they go through their journey. The highs, the lows, the ups and downs, because there's always highs and lows and ups and downs, successes and failures. It's called life. I call it a roller coaster. That's my favorite phrase, the roller coaster of life, the roller coaster of entrepreneurship, the roller coaster of business ownership, whatever it looks like. That's my thing. Just being there for people, whatever that means for every single person is different.
So you have an agency, and this is how you manage your agency. This is something that, yeah.
It is. My agency is me, right? Like I've had my own personal journey. Like I started out, it was me. I was doing everything, and then in all my marketing, I was scared. It couldn't just be me. We. So I changed all my I statements to we statements. We help you. We do this. But it was BS. It was always me. It's always been me, because that is my passion. And my passion is sharing my passion with people and helping people myself. And so, yeah, that's how I approach the agency. And there's so many different ways, like Google ads, SEO, Facebook marketing, all those things. I know all of them. I've been doing online business for 25 years. All of this, but I'm not the person who spends dozens of hours learning everything about Google ads or about SEO, right? There's experts who that is their thing. And so my whole concept is, I'm sort of like I'm like an orchestra conductor, right? I know what instruments sound good together. I know where you can buy the best tuba, where you can find the best mix of a trumpet. I'm going to end this analogy right here, because I'm going to run it into the ground, right? But I can manage everything for somebody if they want one central point of contact. And honestly, the majority of my calls that I have with clients or leads or potential clients, I wind up giving them a contact to somebody that I've met online, somebody that I've worked for, because if you just need one little thing to round out your portfolio, like your business might be one Google ad away from an endless supply of autopilot lead gen. And I don't need to be a part of that at all, because there's that guy over there that's what he does. He breathes, he sleeps Google ads. So why involve myself? And that has been the biggest shift for me over the years, is instead of trying to be the jack of all trades who does all these things, it's focus on what brings you passion, to go back to that, right? And what brings me passion is talking to people, is helping people, is the relationships that are formed, is becoming, a partner in someone's business, because it's exciting for everybody, because we mesh, because we have great conversations, and becoming emotionally invested in someone's success. That's how I run my agency.
Fantastic. We share the same value. It's like a conversation, me with me.
Well, I think you and I need to start having more conversations between just the two of us offline, because I really want to get to know you more. Because every time we chat on Messenger or whatever it is, I feel energized and enthused by our conversations. And so let's make that a priority for just you and me to have some chatting that doesn't involve Facebook Live and recording and all of that.
Tell me, we are doing this for the community right now. We are helping by talking with you, understand what they need to do to succeed, right? And to live, to find their passion. Because just lead by example. You said that, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will. I have two questions for you, but let me read something. Santa Cruz, New York, Chiang Mai, San Francisco, Mura, Washington.
Yeah.
You live all these places?
I have for various periods of time. I have lived in many places. What's that?
On this life?
In this life. That's right. In this life. For all sorts of various reasons, in all sorts of different phases of my life, with all certain different life goals. But That is my list of places I've lived, and I am so happy in Santa Cruz. We own a house. I grew up in New York City. My dream was to have a top story penthouse apartment with a sick view of the skyline. And now I live on an acre of land with chickens and ducks and a vegetable bed in the mountains of Santa Cruz, surrounded by redwood trees on a small little road, right? Like, my life could not be farther. I like to joke sometimes, if I told my 17-year-old self what my life would be right now, I would laugh in my face and be like, yeah, no, thank you, buddy. That's not for me. And yet here we are. But it took all of those places. It took the experiences in each of those places. And, I'm not going to bog down our conversation with what I learned in each one, but each one of those was a transformational life experience. I got what I needed from that place, and then I was ready to move on.
One question about this subject. Do you visit Romania?
I would love to visit Romania. I would love to visit more of Europe. I spent a lot of time there as a kid. I thank you to my parents who, from a young age, I spent my 4th birthday on top of the Eiffel Tower. They were travelers, and they took me with them, pushing me around in a stroller on a European adventure when I was 4. Europe in general, all parts of Europe have such a place in my heart, and I really want to get back there. It's been a long time. Carrie and I have mostly been in Asia, India, South America, Central America, and we talk about it. And when the time's right and the world says, let's rock and roll, and we're going to take the kids and we're going to do some kind of epic world tour. Romania's in there, a lot of Eastern Europe, so the whole world, right? I've been to 50 countries, something like that. So that means there's 112 left on my to-do list. So I'm not stopping.
You have time. So tell me, what is your favorite place on this world? Tell me a city, a country.
Yeah. I was just reflecting with someone on this recently. All the places that I've lived, all the places I've visited, my favorite place, my happy place is home, is where I grew up. I grew up on a small island in the middle of New York City. It's called Roosevelt Island. It's about 2 miles long, 800 feet wide. And it's just the most amazing. I'm getting all this, so many memories just flooded to me. But basically, it was utopia as a kid growing up. There were 4,000 kids growing there, like I said, surrounded by kids of every background. It was the whole idea was created as this sort of utopian society, apartment style living, but suburban feel, smack dab in the middle of New York City. There was an aerial cable car, a gondola that went over the East River to connect the island to Manhattan. There were parks, there were playgrounds, there were abandoned ruins, there was a lighthouse at the tip. And I just, my favorite thing in the world still is going back there, walking around that 2-mile loop and just looking out at Queens on one side, Manhattan on the other side, sitting down, watching the river pass, listening to the faint sound of traffic on the other side. It's truly my happy place. I love it so much still. Of all the places I've gone, that is my favorite. I have lots of other favorite places and things. But
home is home.
Home is home. Yeah. Home is home. And it's so different now. It's not the same place, but in my heart, I go back there and I'm little Gregory again, running around with my friends, doing my thing, not a care in the world. You talk about following your passions, living in the moment, children. Like, there is no, what am I going to do for work? It's just like, what will make me happy right now? Dad, can I do that thing right now? So.
Right now, I will let you pitch your business, what you are doing. If you are searching for clients, for partners, for investors, for everything, from media guys. So we have guys from Forbes, from different news platforms. So feel free to pitch what you are doing. Explain us, please, what you are doing exactly.
What am I doing exactly? I will be honest with you. I feel like I should have some, I do this. I do so many things. What I want is to continue doing what I'm doing. I want to keep helping people. My passion is helping conscious entrepreneurs, right? People who think about the ethics and all of that, grow their business with a personal branding, because it's all about us, right? In the end, it's all about you as a business owner, are the most important part of your business in this day and age. Now, of course, if you're a giant corporation, that may not be true, but the majority of people that I work with, that I help, are small business owners, or people who are following a dream, following their passion, and trying to make it work. And those are the people that I love working with. So my pitch is that, honestly, if what you have heard in this resonates with you, if you would like to grow your business using any combination of online marketing, web design, personal branding, and you just want to talk to somebody who's been doing this for 25 years. I've got my finger in so many little honeypots. I've got connections to people. I want to help you. And, you know, I'm sure if somebody wants to give me a gigantic check, I will happily take it. And that way I can take my family out to Romania to go visit you, and to go take a little break from work, because that is my ultimate goal. My goal with my business and everything is to have more time freedom, more financial freedom, and more life freedom to do the things that I want. And the way that I do that is by helping people and coaching people through Goodman Creatives, through, you know, running, through whatever that looks like. Again, it's different for everyone. And I don't believe in a use my proven system. If you just do this thing, you will succeed, because it is different for everybody. It's different for everybody based on their business, based on their needs, based on their personality, based on their goals. Like, how big do people even want to take things? And I do this through an online educational platform that I'm a part of. That is another great way that people can learn things. So it's like, if you can work with me one-on-one, great. If not, you know, I have this amazing community of conscious entrepreneurs that I also like to send people to. And the best way for anybody watching, if you like what you hear, visit my website, goodmancreatives.com, learn more about me, or visit, if you want to talk about travel and have nothing to do with business, adventuresofgoodman.com, because that is really all of it. I mean, if you handed me, investor watching this right now, if you handed me that magical check for $100 million and I never had to worry about money again, what I would probably do is focus, put that majority percentage back onto the photographic storytelling, on showing people through words, through imagery, that we are all the same, that we are all connected, that humanity is one. And, you know, that, and that's what above all else, right? That is my goal with everything. So I feel like I'm muddling. I'm supposed to have, you know, I'm a marketer. I'm supposed to have one CTA, and I don't. I have many CTAs in my life, right? And I want people to do whatever feels best for them, however they want to connect. And I don't know if you're going to ask me about it, but you know, the way that people can connect with me is mostly, even if you don't do anything, because I know 99.99% of people watching this will never do anything with me. Every day at 1:11 p.m., I say the word yes over and over again for 1 minute and 11 seconds. 1:11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I say the word yes for 1 minute and 11 seconds. I call it the Global Yes Movement, globalyesmovement.com. And the goal is to just raise our global happiness, our joy, our love, our prosperity, our abundance, our bliss, our yes. Because the more people doing something at the same exact moment, the more powerful it becomes. And you know, that's why I say Pacific Standard Time, and I know it doesn't work for everybody because of time zones and all of that. So we'll get to the point in the world where it's 1:11 p.m. in everybody's time zone. But for right now, 1:11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you know that at least I am doing it with you, rain or shine, sleeping kids, no sleeping kids, whatever, every single day.
That is fantastic. So, Mr. Goodman, you are a real good man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate you and everything you're bringing to this community. You know, I see you on there, you know, 100-something thousand people. I can only imagine the work it is, just moderating, just approving posts and doing what you do. So thank you for everything that you do for the world, for the community, for conscious entrepreneurs, for business owners, for online business, whatever people are. Thank you for what you do. And thank you everybody for watching.
I want to share you something to finish this video. I become a conscious. I was an affiliate in iGaming, and I realized that I make more and more and more money, but I wasn't happy because I didn't feel that I bring value for the society. And that's why I quit that business. So I sell everything. I donate a part of money, and after that I work for other people. I work from my passion, from the soul. Everything what I do, it's from my heart, and everything is changing. That's why we manage now a community with 120,000 people. Yes, it's a lot of work. We receive hundreds of posts every single day and a lot of messages. We don't have time to read all of them sometimes, but
I believe
it's
it.
about we do our best to do it and to help other people, because this is what makes us happy too.
Absolutely. And that's the best gift you can give the world, right? Is sharing your authentic self, because it's the right thing to do, because it makes the world a better place, right?
Thank you very much for your time, and we talk separately in private, yeah?
Totally. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, thank you to anybody who actually watched this. I deeply appreciate you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Stay safe, guys.